This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 254 of the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Benefab Products and you, our listeners.
This is Reese Koffler-Stanfield from Georgetown, Kentucky.
And this is Philip Parks from, I can't do his voice. This is Glenn the Geek from Ocala, Florida. And you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Philip is under the weather. He's a bit sick. He joined us for the interviews earlier tonight. And you'll hear why he's not doing the rest of the show, because nobody wants to listen to that for an hour. So.
Oh, and he sounded so sad. It was he took one for the team. Everybody. He was here on time, and we had I had technical problems, and he waited, and but by the time we got through the interviews, I'm like, you just sound terrible.
Go to bed.
Go to bed. Like, we're done. Glenn and I will do it. So you've got Glenn and I this evening. So Glenn, how are you? You haven't been on in a while.
I know. I'm doing great. I got to do some fun things we'll talk about here in a minute. But I do have some housekeeping stuff I want to do before we get to our guests. You have a couple of fun guests tonight. Tell us about those before we get to the housekeeping.
We do. We have a good friend of ours, Ayden Uhlir. She has been on the show several times and has a great new announcement about being sponsored by Nike. So we're going to hear all about...
She has made the news all over the place.
Yeah, she has. And she's such a great girl and great person and great family and hard worker. So I am such a cheerleader for her. So I can't wait to have her on and hear about all her success and her experience with Nike, because that was pretty cool. And we have Jessica Spracklin, who was a part of the winter intensive training program with Lyndon Gray this winter. And she had just an amazing time down there. And I can't wait to hear all about her experience with that program. So lots of fun stuff tonight.
And, of course, you and Philip are going to do a training tip a little later on, responding to a question from a listener about cantering. So that's all coming up here. We got Philip. That was the last thing he did before he passed out. We made him do that.
I'm probably going to check on him later. He sounded that bad, actually. Poor guy.
Well, a couple things I wanted to remind everybody of from the Horse Radio Network side of things is that we are doing a listener meetup. If you are heading to Rolex, Kentucky 3-day event here at the end of the month, the weekend of the 24th of April. On that Saturday, Cross Country Day, many of the hosts of the Horse Radio Network shows are going to be all meeting up. We're having a listener meetup a half an hour before cross country starts at jump number 1. And I think I've conned Reese into coming over.
I know.
So Reese is going to come over. Jamie's going to be there from Arizona, host of the Horses in the Morning show. My wife, Jennifer, host of Horse Tip Daily, is going to be there. Samantha from the Eventing Radio show is going to be there. You're going to be there representing Dressage. And we're looking forward to meeting our listeners. We would love if you would come by, say hi. We'll walk a couple of the jumps together to get the day started, and then we can all break off and do our thing. But I think it should be a lot of fun to get to meet you all.
Really excited. And like I said, I love it. We go to Rolex every year, and this year actually I'm not coaching anyone, so it's kind of nice to have a year just to hang out and go shopping. That's all I got to say. If you are questioning if you should come or not, Dressage, everybody, please come, because the shopping is amazing. That's all I'm going to say.
I got to tell you, Reese, we've been invited to the Eventing Nation tailgate booth.
What?
Yeah, so we can go over there and get some, I'm sure that the Eventing Nation tailgate booth has some alcoholic beverages around lunchtime. So I'm thinking we go crash the party over there around lunchtime.
I love it. Well, I'm hanging with you guys. I'm really looking forward to a great day. So it's really, really fun. And don't think, I'm a dressage rider. It's super cool to see those horses run around cross country, and great shopping.
Yeah, it is a neat show. About 40 to 50,000 people show up on Cross Country Day. It's one of the largest. It is the largest spectator event for the English side of the house, anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Now, a couple other things, too. One is that we want to thank all of our auditors who have signed up. Dozens of you have signed up to help support the Horse Radio Network so that we can bring some new programming to you, some new breed programming and discipline programming as well. And if you like the Dressage Radio Show and you want to help support Reese and Philip, part of that money that is pledged goes back to the hosts as well. because they don't make much doing this. None of us do. And we do it because we love it, and we like to be here, and we like to provide it for you guys. So if you want to do that, stop over to dressageradio.com, big banner in the middle of the page. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support your friends here at the Dressage Radio Show. We appreciate anything you can do. We have all kinds of incentives over there for people who do become auditors. For as little as $1 a month, you will receive the blooper reel that we are going to do once a month just for the auditors. We're the only ones here, the bloopers from the different shows. Reese has a lot of them. And then...
Thank you, Glenn. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Philip and I probably are the leaders in the blooper reel. I have asked to hear this blooper reel, and I heard a big no. So
no previews. And then also, one of the other things that's happening that we haven't announced before is that the auditors are going to have the dibs, anytime we get a product in that needs reviewed. We get all kinds of products in from company to do reviews and then to report on them on the shows. We are going to offer them out to the auditors to review.
Love it.
So
very cool. That's the best part of our job, actually. Except working with Glenn, but it is fun to test all the products. That's really cool.
Well, we want to get our listeners involved in that, so we're gonna do that as well. And then there's also going to be an auditor roundtable show, one episode a month that we're putting together with 3 different auditors. We'll sit around and talk about horses, sort of like in the TAC room, and that'll be a show that's available to auditors for auditors. So that's just kind of some of the things that we're doing for as little as $1 a month here on the Horse Radio Network. Thank you all for your support. If you can't afford to do that, that is fine. We appreciate you listening. What you can do is just tell all of your friends on Facebook and elsewhere about the Dressage Radio Show. Provide a link, post it up there once a week, and give us some support that way. That would be great.
Love it.
And that is about it for my announcements here from the Horse Radio Network.
We've got some news. There's some exciting things going on. I'm sure, I don't know, here in Kentucky, the grass got green literally this week.
Yay!
I know. And we have our first horse show this weekend. So it felt like forever that we were never getting to horse show season. And then now it's here. So it's so nice to have it finally upon us. So we've got a group going this weekend to our first show. So it's a small show because I think a lot of people
aren't ready yet.
Aren't ready yet. Thankfully I have the indoor.
You have an indoor. Your horse is not legged up.
Not ready. You're not ready for the show. So that's pretty cool that we're ready to go. But some exciting things. Just tried to pull some stuff off the internet that was fun.
So May 10th through the 11th, Dr. Gerd Heuschmann is actually coming to Lebanon, Ohio, and he's a world-renowned expert in equine biomechanics, and he's going to lead a symposium at Dancing Horse Farm. And this is he's an incredible man. He wrote the book Tug of War: Classical versus Modern Dressage. So he's a really cool, interesting man, and it's in Ohio. So if anyone's around there, it's worth your time to go and listen to him speak. So that's a exciting thing, and it's at Dancing Horse Farm. Owner and head trainer Jen Truitt, who's having the symposium. So I hope that that's something people can head off to. And also some news that came out of USEF, United States Equestrian Federation, this week is Chris Welton, Olympic and global sports marketing leader, will be the new chief executive officer. And Chris was appointed. He built his career at top of the sports marketing and branding, beginning at the 96 Olympics. And he was announced Tuesday that he is taking over the reins from John Long, who's been there for 10 years. So that's some exciting news.
I didn't even know that John was on his way out.
Yeah. It's been in the works, I think, for a little while. I've known for at least a couple months that he was heading out. So this will be exciting, and branding and marketing is what we need. So that'll be good to see what happens with that. So
yeah, it looks like they didn't go for an ex-rider here. They went for somebody who knows the business side of things, which in that position, there's enough riders in the USEF hierarchy.
Yes.
That with all the committees and boards and everything else they've got going, that this was probably a very wise move.
I think so. So I think that's great, and some big changes over there. So that's good. So
Terrific. Well,
I
right
love
after
it.
this word from Benefab, our friends over at Benefab Products, and I know you have a couple that you're ordering here very shortly.
Yes. I was just
One for
complaining about my
yourself.
Yeah, I was just complaining to Glenn about my shoulder. I was like, gosh, I need to get on this because my shoulder's bothering me. So the products are amazing and very helpful and will help kind of some soft tissue injuries like I have. So I'm excited about that.
Jennifer uses the same one actually for her shoulder, and she the blanket one.
Yes.
And she wraps it around her shoulder when she goes to bed at night, and she actually sleeps with it there. And she said that's the only thing that's really keeping her from having serious issues with her shoulder is that blanket.
I know. I can't wait for it to come. I'm not going to lie.
So right after we hear from Benefab Products, we have our first guest coming up here, Jessica Spracklin, about her time at the Winter Intensive Training, and that happened over the winter in Wellington, Florida.
Are you tired of treating your horse for soreness? Well, then be proactive. Benefab offers you and your horse a natural remedy to joint and muscle stiffness, inflammation, and circulatory deficiencies. Benefab offers a variety of innovative products, like saddle pads and polo wraps and quarter sheets for your horse, and socks and blankets for you. Simply ride in it or wear it, and feel the difference Benefab's ceramic-infused products make. You can check them out online at benefabproducts.com, or you can call them toll-free at 855-957-8378.
Well, it is my pleasure this evening to welcome Jessica Spracklin, who was a part of the Winter Intensive Training Program, or WIT for short, through Dressage for Kids. And she was in Wellington, Florida with Lyndon Gray all winter. Jessica, welcome to the program.
Hi.
We're glad you're here with us tonight. So
I'm glad to be here.
You came last week for a lesson, and you were telling me all about Lyndon's program in Florida, and it was so cool. So we were walking around and chatting about the program, and I said, stop. We're going to have to do this on the radio show next week. So Jessica, tell us a little bit about yourself to start with, and then we're going to move into what the program was like.
I'm 18 years old, and I've been riding in Ohio for about 7 years at my family's farm. And I'm just starting to get into dressage, and I got accepted into Lyndon's program, and that really just opened doors for me. And I went to Florida and changed my life.
So tell us, what is the so kind of from the whole start, how did you apply for the program? How did you hear about the program? And then kind of move on from there.
Well, I heard about the program kind of through a roundabout way, through some family friends, actually, that have nothing to do with horses. But then I went online. Dressage for Kids has a website, and I applied, just thinking, maybe I'll get in, maybe I'll get to go. It'd be amazing. And I got into the program, and a whole bunch of decisions real quick, and whirlwind trip to Florida. And I was in Florida, Wellington, for 3 months, experiencing all dressage happenings there.
So tell us, what was your normal day like?
A normal day would start at 6:30 in the barn. We were in charge of our own horses. We got to bring our own horses down, which was pretty awesome. So after feeding and mucking, we would do fitness, and then lessons would start around 8, and we'd all take lessons with Lyndon, and sometimes some guest instructors would come in and teach us. And then in the afternoons, we would have lectures with different professionals in the area.
Excellent.
And then feeding again.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. Yeah. So what were some personal goals that you had put together in going to Florida, and some things that you were able to achieve?
My personal goal for Florida was to really understand what dressage was and to work on me as a rider and my horse. Neither of us really truly understood what throughness was or what dressage really meant for us. I was an event rider for a while. And going to Florida just opened my eyes. We came out, and started to understand what real dressage riding was. I got to watch the top riders in the nation compete and train, and that just was amazing. And then the end of the season, I did one show at Global, and we scored a 61 at first level. So that kind of made my day.
Yeah, absolutely. So who was your favorite or maybe your top 3 guests that you talked to or you listened to this winter?
Oh, wow. That's really hard to pick. We got to go to the Global Dressage Forum and listen to Jan Binks give a clinic, which was absolutely amazing.
He was my favorite too. He's my personal favorite.
He was just my favorite. I loved him.
Agreed.
And then we got to go to Tina Kanye's farm and watch her ride Collecto. And she talked to us about her training techniques. And let's see, a third. We talked to several veterinarians and nutritionists throughout the season. And that just in general was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. No, that's great. So tell us, I'm a little concerned. What was this fitness program? That kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, 7:00 every morning we would go for a run. Sometimes we would do some HIIT work, so squats and jumping jacks and sprints and some of that core, lots of core work. Lyndon and a lot of people believe that being fit was great for riding, which it is. So
how many other riders were down there with you, and how big is this program? And
there were 13 of us in the program, and we did everything together. It was really fun, really great bonding experience for all of us.
So who were some of the other riders that were there?
Katrina Sades on Poldy 10. She did a lot of the FEI ponies at Global. And then there was Kaya Anderson and a lot of others. There was Alex from Ohio. We came from all over the states to come.
Oh, that's fabulous. So the program was 3 months. What did you do when it came to housing and that type of thing?
Housing, we were all responsible to find our own housing. So some people lived together. Some people found random friends that they had in Florida. I got housing with a family that agreed to take me in for the winter.
Ah, super. Very cool. So what are you going to take, stepping forward in your career? Where are you going to go with this program?
The WIT program was really a springboard for me. I feel like I am geared up and ready to go after my goals with my horse. And this year I'm going to try to qualify for regionals, and maybe eventually do young riders with him. I think he and I can make it.
Awesome. Well, I hope so too, because now you're here back in Ohio, and you're not too far from me. So we're excited to have you join our team as well. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for telling us about this program. If people want to learn a little bit more about the WIT program, but also all the things that are offered through Dressage for Kids, what are some things that they can do to do that?
Dressage for Kids has a website. It's Dressage for Kids, 4 as in the letter or the number. And then there's also a Facebook page that is pretty active.
Super. And for the WIT program, when did you do your application? When do you have to have that in?
It's due in October, I believe.
Okay, so people need to kind of be thinking about it and potentially get on that for next winter even.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the things that are required, extensive application, talking about yourself and your goals, and then a video of you riding.
Super. Was there an essay component or anything like that, or was it?
A lot of the questions, you could answer them in an essay or statements, whichever you prefer.
Super. Well, great. Well, it really, truly sounds like an amazing program. I want to sign up, but the fitness component makes me slightly nervous. You're younger than me. What can I say? But I hope you continue it on, and we look forward to having you here in Kentucky and also just seeing how this program leads to you becoming a professional rider. So thanks so much for your time, Jessica, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Thank you.
Well, next up is Ayden Uhlir. She is the girl in the news these days because she was just announced that she is now being sponsored by Nike. So Ayden's a good friend of mine and look forward to this interview.
Well, it is so exciting to have our dear friend of the Dressage Radio Show, Ayden Uhlir, on. Ayden, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am great. Ayden is the gold medalist from juniors, and she won the gold medal last year at Young Riders here in Kentucky. So she's a dear friend of mine, and just to have you on and get an update, things have been changing in your neck of the woods, huh?
Yes, extremely. I'm completely just amazed with everything that's been going on, and I with Nike and everything is just so exciting, and Shapur and I are definitely loving the new gear, and I can't wait to see what Nike can help me in becoming a better athlete, and all around it'd be amazing.
Great. Well, let's start with this. So I was super excited to call you about this because I knew it was going on maybe a little bit earlier than everybody else, not too much earlier, but I had a little extra from your mom and from you. So tell us about Nike. This is a big deal for riders and sponsorship for all of us. So tell us what's going on.
Well, I initially, when Nike contacted me, I was just completely stunned and be like, are you me? Are you sure? Little old me, I never even thought I could get anything like this, but I've been coming to a point where I needed to start thinking of ways to support my riding financially because my parents can't support me for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be living with them forever. And I was like, why not? Why can't I send something? The worst thing that they could do is say no. And kind of here I am now. And apparently they didn't say no.
Exactly. So you're the first equestrian to ever be sponsored by Nike, right?
I believe so. I've at least not in the U.S. They're not quite sure if there's anybody else around the world, but I believe so.
Awesome. So you literally just had a huge trip with them. Am I right?
Yes. I went up to Oregon to visit the Nike campus, and it's one of the most beautiful places on earth, and I love Oregon. It's in Beaverton in Oregon. I think it's right outside of Portland, but I definitely am missing up up north where I was up in Seattle before. I mean, everything, the greenery is just amazing, and the hiking trails and running trails, and they have so many different activities there. If I ever had to work in an office, I would want to work there. And that's saying something because I never want to work in an office in my life.
So what did you do when you got there? So what was you went up, you flew up there. So what happened when you got there?
When I got there, I had one day to kind of prepare. So I hung out at my hotel, but the next day I had a beautiful tour with some very nice people, and they showed me around the campus and told me a little bit about the history of everything. And then after that, I was in meetings. And I felt so grown up going in there and talking to the women's division about what I do in my sport and what I really hope to accomplish with my athletic and training goals, both riding and like cross training. And they seem to be really excited about this. I mean, they've never been introduced to any dressage before, any dressage riders. So it's a whole new world for them as well. And they seem to be really intrigued with everything and what I do. And I'm trying to tell them that it's riding. Everybody thinks that riding is the person just sits up on a horse and does nothing, and the horse does everything. But I've definitely cleared that up with them that is not it.
That a girl. I like it.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And what is this? After the meetings, and then around like 6 o'clock, I was in meetings all day. It was so amazing. And I got to go to the Nike employee store and bought a few things for my friends and family, and I was really excited about it, and got to give them a little back to my support team because they're the ones that got me here in the first place. So they needed to get something back in return.
Aw, I love it.
Yes. And Grandma's all excited. She got some new tennis shoes, and she was running around in them today, and I was so happy watching her enjoy her new product.
And you have a very supportive family. I've gotten to meet your whole family, your parents and your grandma, and everybody is so supportive of your riding. And that's so nice to see. Your grandma moved with you to Seattle, and now you guys live in California, right?
Yes. Grandma also followed me down there, too.
Exactly. I love it.
And she likes the weather probably a lot better than Seattle. She was having enough of the gloom and doom of the rain. And now we're in sunny California where it was just 85 degrees yesterday.
Oh, don't talk like that, because Philip may really feel very sick when you talk about the weather in California. So Ayden, tell us, there's been some changes in your riding. What's been going on with you and Shapur?
Well, Shapur and I have moved to Albert Court, and we are training with Christine Trauig. And I call her the magical unicorn of dressage because she's so fantastic. It's kind of our inside joke. And I got her this cute little beanie baby unicorn to have our little inside joke stuffed animal. She's just completely amazing, and I love her training. And she's just this. The words that I use to describe her are basically the magical unicorn of dressage.
I love it.
If you can really describe her anything other than that. But I am just astounded with her and her whole being and training, and I just love her personality and the way that she trains. It's definitely, Shapur and I have been improving greatly.
So now what's the plan with Shapur this year? You can't come back to Young Riders, unfortunately, with him because you won last year. That's a rule. Once you win, they kind of kick you out on that particular horse. So what's going on with him and with you?
Well, Shapur and I, we are going to be doing some I-1. I don't think we are going to be trying out for Gladstone, but we wanted to see how he does at I-1, not just for him, but for me, because I need to start preparing for a Brentina horse, and he can teach me the nuances of the upper levels, and I can really perfect my riding to help prepare myself for the next horse. So I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. That's fabulous. So you're doing I-1, doing the small tour this year, and going to see where that brings you. I love it.
Yes, and he seems to be really liking it. He likes his two tempies a lot. I have to be like, whoa there.
Oh, you guys have such an awesome partnership. So now, Ayden, tell us, going kind of back to the Nike thing, what are your favorite new products that you've gotten?
Oh, I love, what is this? The Nike running fleece. My new jacket, it's what is it? It's like a light gray color with black piping, and it's so soft. I am really about fabrics, and they have to be soft and comfortable, or else I get freaked out about it, and I cannot focus on anything else. But I really like to wear it to the barn or over everyday clothes, and everything is just so well made and so functional, and I really do love all of their products. But that was one of my favorite jackets. I love the Nike, the Nike running tech pants, and they have these beautiful patterns. They're so colorful to be working out in, and I really love good quality products, and they're amazing. I mean, they're, what is it? for running around and doing my regular routine from running up and down stairs and around my park and Pilates and yoga. I've been starting to do all these different workouts and to start upping my game as an athlete. And it's really exciting that they can provide me with all these products to help me with obtain my athletic goals outside of riding.
Now, Ayden, do you have anything that you're obligated to do by contract for them?
Right now, they're just helping me be the better athlete. They don't require anything of me. They just really like my story and what I want to do in the future, and they just want to help me as a person and an athlete and to succeed and achieve my goals.
That's
so I'm amazed at that. Yeah, it's really exciting, and I was just amazed that somebody believed in me, and that's not just a one person, but a whole company, and not just a small company, but an extremely large company that can believe in me, and I'm really honored for them to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think that sponsorship is a whole new animal, but I think that, riders to be sponsored is a huge deal, but, they also look for the right people and the right story. And I think that, you have that, and you're the right kind of person. You're just so kind and humble, and you work really, really hard. It's true. I mean, I think that's, we always talk about sponsors, and people think that, it's so easy to get sponsors, and it's not. It's not easy to keep them, and it's not easy to get sponsors. So I think that, getting a huge international company to sponsor you, but also have them look at riders in general is amazing. So I think that's thumbs up to you, because I think that will help really open some other sponsorship doors for all riders.
Yeah, that's what I was really thinking about, because if Nike shows an interest in our sport, then other companies are going to be looking to Nike being like, hey, what are they doing? I want to do some of that. And maybe they will look at some other riders and start making dressage a more recognized sport.
Exactly, which would be great.
I'm looking at pictures of the Nike campus you were at in Oregon, the inside pictures with all of the football player mannequin, just everything that they have displayed there. This is an unbelievable place.
Oh, yes. It's like part museum, part Disneyland.
Wow.
It really is. If you're a sports nut, you would love this place.
Oh, yeah. I was sending so many pictures to my dad. They have a Nolan Ryan building, and us being from Texas and he working for the Texas Rangers, he was obsessed with that building.
Yeah. I bet your dad is super excited to have you sponsored by Nike. That's pretty awesome. I love it.
Oh, yeah. He's really excited. And he was like, send me some shoes, Ayden.
New shoes. Oh, that's super.
Yeah.
Were there any other athletes that were there while you were there, or were you there by yourself?
I was there by myself. There was there was a lady hockey player from Canada. I can't remember her name, but I'm sure they were running around there somewhere, but I was basically shuffled place to place and pretty quick. I met a lot of the teams that are going to be helping me out and, planning my workout schedules and everything and what I need for future products. And they, they were mainly the people that I was meeting, and they were absolutely fantastic. I've never met such an amazing, group of people who were so driven to help me, besides my family, of course, but the whole company, they were just so helping and so nice and inviting and intrigued with my sport. And I was really amazed to meet them.
That's awesome. Has Nike opened any doors for any other sponsorship that you've started? Have you kind of built on this experience at all?
Not yet, but I'm hoping there can be some new things happening soon. Right now, we're just trying to work on getting the next horse for me. But my agent, Cheryl Shade, she's working real hard and trying to help me. And it's funny because I got Nike before I got the agent. I did it backwards.
Yeah, you did do it backwards.
But anyway, she's amazing, and she's going to help me and with opening new doors and trying to get people to help support me, not just with products but financially. And I'm really excited about our future together. And she's stunning, and I just love her to death already.
Excellent. Well, as always, we would love to keep hearing about your journey, and as you kind of continue the sponsorship, I hope it's a role because, again, you're really changing the way people look at sponsorship for a rider. So keep it up. And as always, it's from your Kentucky family. We love to stay in touch, and we will be in touch.
I love you guys, too.
Well, thanks, Ayden. We'll be in touch soon, and we look forward to having you on the show again.
All right, I would love to be back again.
Great. And Ayden, if our listeners want to contact you, how do they do that?
Besides through my Facebook, through my agent Cheryl Shade. She at Shade Global. She will forward any questions to me, and I would be happy to answer any and all questions. Super.
Well, we hope it will lead to a new horse for sure.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Well, that is so cool to be the first equestrian to get a sponsorship from Nike.
Love it.
Oh, and
Love
I want to
it.
see their headquarters. That looks
I do
absolutely
too.
unbelievable. I mean, it does look like a museum inside. It is so cool. A museum to sports.
I love it.
Yeah, and good for her. She seems like a real sweetie, and
She is great person. So I'm excited, and she'll bring such good rapport, but also show Nike that there's some really, really wonderful people that ride. So look forward to hearing how her riding improves with all of their help, and that'll be great. I hope she'll pass it along to me, and then I'll pass it along to you guys.
Well, we got a trainer tip question on our Facebook page at Dressage Radio Show. Take a look at it there, like us there. And Philip was with us earlier to record the answer because I would have been no help at all. So let's take a listen to that. Okay, guys, this one's from Rita Hansen on our Facebook page. Hi, Reese and Philip. I have a training question for you. It's a little bit long. I shortened it up a little. I have a coming 11-year-old Morgan gelding. We practice dressage, trail ride, and have recently got into distance riding. My gelding has a good work ethic, is sensitive in a good way, but can take pressure. His preferred gait is the trot, and he will happily and easily lengthen his trot to keep up with cantering horses. That comes from Morgan's being a driving horse mostly. If I ask for the canter going across cross-country, he will comply, and it's lovely to ride, whether working or collected. In the dressage ring, it is quite different. He is nervous about the canter and will deal with even the slightest imbalance by dropping out of the canter. I also have yet to find a way to explain canter walk to him. His walk canter transition is fine, but no matter what I've tried, he will sneak in at least one trot stride in between the canter and walk 9 out of 10 times. He thinks I'm asking the impossible. Do you have any suggestions for improving the canter in general for a horse that prefers the trot and dropping out of the canter walk transition in particular? I suspect they are all related. Thank you. You're both awesome, as are your guests, and I listen to every show at least twice to get every tidbit.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes.
Love it.
Well, Morgans were originally bred for driving, and in driving, trot is the gait you want. You don't want a lot of cantering, so
Yeah, you don't want them cantering a whole lot in
it's
the
uncomfortable in the cart. First of all,
Yeah, exactly. Not good. So, Philip, do you want me to take it first?
Yeah, Reese. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm ready
perfect.
to hear from Reese Kaufler-Stanfield.
Thank you, Philip. As everybody knows, Philip's not feeling so hot today, so I'm going to take it, and Philip will join in here in a minute. But it's tough. It's tricky. We always say when you pick a horse, you can't change the canter. You can improve in the walk. Really, the canter and the walk are kind of two things that you got. You can improve the trot. So this is a tricky kind of uphill battle that if we came for a lesson and we were working on this, that would be kind of the first thing that I would say is it is very difficult to get him to canter. It is great that he canters well outside. I would personally capitalize on that a lot if you're cantering well outside, I would, and now thankfully we're getting to the time of the year where we can ride outside. I would canter outside. I would first start cantering where he can canter. And then I would start to kind of shorten up where the how you're cantering. So let's say you're cantering in a big field, then I would start to half the field, then I would start to quarter the field, just because we're trying to capitalize on what he can do well, and so that he gets some confidence while he's doing that. So that would be my first thing, is that I would start cantering outside where you can get him to canter. One of the reasons you're having trouble getting him to canter in the ring is obviously balance. And it's much harder depending on the size of the ring. Let's just, for sake of discussion, a 20 by 60, a normal dressage arena, that can be quite tight for some horses to make the turn in. So that's why I would start cantering where he's comfortable, and I would start to make the size of where you're cantering a little bit smaller to kind of help him get the balance. I also wouldn't be afraid to lunge this horse a little bit in the arena. And in the canter, and work on getting him to be stronger in the canter, especially on the lunge line. Because if he's dropping out, he's nervous about cantering, it could very well help him to start with the lunge line and get the balance. I would say, if you're having trouble just with the basic canter, a canter walk transition is actually quite a difficult transition. We don't see it at all. Canter walk comes in at second level test 1. So you will have already done training in first level and worked on the balance. And in theory, with that canter walk transition, the horse will already need to have some level of collection. So that's why, if you kind of break it down, if you're not able to keep the rhythm of the canter, a 3-beat rhythm, and he breaks out of the canter and he struggles with that transition, that's why. So, and that's why you're also having trouble with the canter walk transition, because they really have to sit and collect behind. So one of the things that, again, I would do is I would work outside, I would lunge. I would potentially back off the canter walk transition for a little while until I was really able to ride what I call kind of an exaggerated half halt in the canter, when you could kind of canter on a 10-meter circle, ideally. I like to do and start with my canter walks against the wall of the arena or my indoor, which is even better, an actual wall. And do that walk transition toward the wall where the horse is naturally going to back off the wall. So that's what I would do. And so until I'm able to sort of ride a good 10-meter circle in the canter, balanced, where I can get them to sit on their haunches a little bit, again, I would back off that canter walk transition. I think that once you're able to get the horse to do that and be more balanced and more comfortable sort of in their own rhythm and in their own skin in the canter, then in theory, the canter walk transition should be an easier transition. But you're right, there can be absolutely no trot steps in that. It's a canter walk. It's not canter one-step trot walk. So that's what I would do. I would just kind of scale it back. I always try to look at problems like this in whenever you have a problem in a higher level movement, I guarantee there's a problem with a basic somewhere. So I always try to sort of stop and think, okay, where is the issue on the training scale? And it sounds like you can go all the way back to rhythm in the canter. When he drops out of the canter, he especially drops in that canter walk transition. And I would go back and do some more transition work with him till I was able to collect him, have him carry his balance and carry his weight behind, and then you'll be in much better shape. So, Philip, that's what I got. What do you got for us?
Good thoughts, Reese. I'm kind of reminded back to my Frisian days. They have a lot of problems cantering, especially in a small ring. So I had to really get creative, canter a lot outside in big spaces, and then figure out how am I going to fit this big canter into the small ring, And the way that I did that is that I really, the biggest struggle for the horses were the corners. And so when I was riding outside, even if it was a big space, I rode the box. I think that's one of the hardest things for all horses when they learn to canter, is not to race around the corners and make my nice rectangle ring into a big oval. So, do transitions in the corners, try and ride a deeper and then deeper corner. Then you can use the corner to really half halt the horse, set them on the hind legs a little bit, and then you can do, your walk, canter transitions. It'll all come from that, right? Because, the horses, they just want to curve. They want to make big circles in the canter. They want to make big shapes, big figures. Really being able to half halt and turn the horse on a more of a 90-degree angle. I think that's worth doing, really worth practicing proper corners in the canter, because I think that's what we miss big time. So that was what, I really spent a lot of time doing that with the Frisian, and then he learned how to take weight on the hind leg, and the other thing that horse needs is a little bit extra collection, more than what the warm bloods would take. That was really key to learning how to canter and keep the rhythm and keep the balance and get those walk canter transitions. Really go for more and more collection, and the horse will learn confidence and not racing. And I think it's just, don't think about speed, right? The horse has to have no speed at all. They can learn to relax and really carry themselves nicely in the canter. So I think that's my 2 cents worth there.
I love it. Even sick, you have a good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I sound horrible. I'm sorry to everyone this week.
That is so good. I love it. Even sick, Phillips can get it. But I agree. I mean, I think we don't ride enough corners, and we're not good enough about riding corners.
And counterbend,
Yeah.
For a corner to happen well in canter, the horse has to be able to counterbend. So bend both ways in the canter. It's so important to get straightness. You can't collect unless you have a little bit of that outside shoulder underneath you. It takes a little counterbend to do that sometimes. So, sorry, that's a little extra. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that those are all such great things. So I love it. I think those are really good tips for all of us. And, again, you can take that and put it to anybody, any horse's canter.
Any horse, to improve the canter, any horse.
Exactly. That's not just necessarily, that's just not that could be
not necessarily your traditional driving horses, but I mean they can benefit from that a lot.
Exactly. So I love it. I hope that tip helps. And again, we love listener questions. Keep them coming. Like I said, if we can't answer them, we'd love to grab somebody else that can. So thanks so much for the listener question, and we look forward to more in the future.
Well, Glenn, thanks so much for coming on the show and filling in. You're always here, but you had to jump in today to help me with the show since Philip is under the weather.
All right.
So thank you.
No problem. Anytime with you, Reese. I like hanging out with you, and I'm so excited in a couple of weeks so we'll get to see each other and hang out some more.
I know. I love it. That's the best part about living in Kentucky, and especially when the horse shows start coming and everybody starts to come into town. So I can't wait for Rolex and for our listener meetup. That's going to be a lot of fun. So, and I will be out in the cross country course. Love it.
Yay. And then I will mention too that we'll be doing the Horses in the Morning show live from there on Friday morning at 9 a.m. and Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We'll be coming to you live from the Rolex 3-day event. Jamie, Jen, and I will be doing the show. Jamie's flying in with her baby.
Oh, I can't wait to meet him.
I know, the baby's coming along. Cute little guy. And you hear him on the show occasionally. He likes to take over the microphone.
Nice.
At 6 months old. So I said, you're going to be out of job here soon.
She's going to be out of a job for sure. Love it.
And don't forget, you can listen to us and all of the shows on the Horse Radio Network on the Horse Radio Network app. It's the easiest, simplest way to listen to the shows. If you have iOS or Android, just go to the App Store and search for Horse Radio Network. That is the simplest way to do it. And Reese can be found at
MaplecrestFarmKY.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody, keep your heels down and your shoulders back, and we will talk to you next week.